So for my project, I aim to answer a question that humans have been asking one another for millennia, and that is namely, hey, how's that beer? So there's two ways. I should introduce myself. My name's Spencer Zepelin. I participated in the ChiPy Mentorship program, obviously, with my mentor, Kevin Getch. There's two ways you can answer that question. One is you can, open the beer and taste it, and that is a tried and true way to find out how good a beer is. And the other is to, programmatically create a database of 800,000 beer reviews and predict how a beer is going to be before you actually drink it. And I chose the latter. Now, the actual use case that I was thinking of, because when I started the mentorship program, I was working at a brewery, was if we are, a little thought experiment, if we are a brewer and it's the very start of the brewing season, how are we going to decide which beers to make? We might have 15 or 20 we're thinking about. We can only make 5. So let's figure out which are going to be the best. And let's start with the fun part first. I, in middle school, did not write calculator games, but I loved when my friends did, and now I have my very own. So let's imagine. Greetings, Brewmaster. Let's predict the rating for your next beer. Will it be an ale or a lager? It's going to be an ale. An ale sounds rich and delicious. Let's make a Belgian ale. And we're programmers, so we're going to make it really strong. And it's going to be from Illinois. And obviously a craft brewer. Great. So 4.23 out of 5. That's a great rating. The savvy among you might be thinking to yourselves, wow, that's cool. Why didn't you might have just picked a random number between 2 and 5. And that's distinctly possible. So let's see how it actually works. The data that I used was from Untapped. If you're not familiar with it, it is sort of the Foursquare model of social platform. It's built on the unit of the check-in. So you have an individual user who's drinking a beer. There's a lot of optional fields, one of them being a rating of the beer out of 5 stars, or in this paradigm, bottle caps. What I was interested in was the aggregate beer data up here from all of the different check-ins, and namely predicting this target value with all of these different features. So how are we going to get all of this data in order to make our predictions? Untapped has a great API. I said, hey, can I have an API key? They said, are you making an app? And I said, nope. And they said, then nope. And so I said, okay, well, that's fine. A flat file will do. Are you willing to just give me a data dump? And they said, no, all of our data is proprietary. And I said, well, it's all public, so it's not entirely proprietary. And then I went through, and over the next couple of weeks, traffic from Chicago was noticeably up. Yeah, traffic from Chicago was noticeably up. Thank you. Thanks. Great. So this is just the Chrome browser's inspect tool. Effectively, I really enjoyed this. I do not have a web development background. I've been coding for about 5 months now. And so this was the most fun part for me, really, even more so than the modeling, was really reverse engineering a database. So taking all of this user-facing HTML and XML, and then programmatically building my own database on the back end. So filtering it through the website, and then creating dictionaries, using pandas to create data frames, and converting those data frames into a database. Really, really fun. So how did it do? Machine modeling. How am I doing on time? 1 minute. Great. The modeling process in 30 seconds. This was my first one. These are just actual scores against predicted scores for test data. That black line represents an ideal world where I'm predicting everything exactly as the actual score is. You can see one large theme here is that I'm over-predicting low scores and under-predicting high scores. I do want to make a quick note. I know for those of you R users, this looks like ggplot. I promise it is matplotlib. It's just the ggplot style. So that went over well. Okay, distribution of beer ratings. Why is this happening? It's unbalanced data. About 3/4 of the data are right between 3.25 and 4. How did I solve this? I built a composite model. So first, a beer that's being predicted is going to pass into the classifying model. That's going to predict if it's going to be a high-scoring beer, a middle-scoring beer, or a low-scoring beer. And subsequently, those regressors are specialized on that range of scores. Ultimately, the graph ends up looking more like this. And my mean average error is 0.2, just under 0.2. So that means, on average, the predictions that it's making are less than 1/4 of a star off, which I was very, very pleased with. like I said, I've only been coding for 5 months. I see this very much as the beginning of the process for me. And I'm happy to announce that as of a couple weeks ago, I am gainfully employed as a data scientist. And I credit ChiPy in large part with that. Thank you. So thanks. So that's really cool. I obviously want to thank my mentor again and everyone who put ChiPy together, the community that makes it possible. It's clearly just a massive labor of love of so many people, and so I feel really privileged to be a part of that. Thanks very much.